Hi, my name is Talmadge McLaurin and I'm the publisher of Florists Review magazine. You are viewing our online technique department. In the magazine each month we have a technique and you can come online to our website and see just how we make that happen. This month's feature is about corsages, and we're going to make a beautiful wrist corsage with a lot of sparkly gems on it and some beads, things that are really popular today for weddings and parties and even young people when they're going to events like fall dances. So let's get started by making a single flower that is created with several different orchid blooms. To begin this corsage, I'm going to take several blossoms off of the same stem of orchids. I start by cutting out the center of 3 or 4 of these orchids, and it leaves the orchid flat. That allows me to take other flat orchids and stack them on top of each other, and this composite flower has a lot more visual weight and creates a neater corsage. So I'm going to lay those aside and take a hairpin wire and go through an orchid that I've left intact. Slide that down there, and then I'll slide each one of the flat orchids underneath it. As you can see, this takes only a few moments and it creates a whole new type of orchid that can become a showstopper in the center of your corsage. To finish the orchid, I add just a piece of stem wrap onto the wire at the bottom of the collected orchids, and I finish off that stem so it will look neat in the center of the corsage. Now to create some custom leaves that will go behind this fantasy flower with orchids, I'm taking some copper wire, cutting off a piece of it, and I just fold it in the middle to create the top of a leaf, and then I just shape it into a leaf form. Give it a little twist there and cut off the excess. So I have the beginning of a leaf. The next step is to take the leaf shape that you fashioned out of a thicker copper wire and give it some texture on the edge by wrapping it with a little bit of copper bullion, going all the way around the perimeter of your leaf. Once you've completed wrapping the bullion around the perimeter of the leaf, I take another piece of bullion and some decorative beads that I picked up at a craft store, and I thread them onto this bullion, making a garland of beads. I attach them about 1 inch apart, and when we get finished, this will create the center of what now is a hollow leaf. With the garland complete, just take it and wrap it around the leaf, letting the beads fall within the perimeter of the leaf. Attach it onto the edges so it will stay in place. All right. Take some yarn, cut off a small piece of yarn. Take it apart a little bit, make 2 pieces out of it, and then wrap it around the beads on the leaf. Attach it at the bottom so that it fills in the leaf and you've got a yarn and bead and shiny wire leaf. For this corsage, I am using 4 leaves that have been created out of the wire and the beads, and I'm just taping them all together so they create a little backing for the orchids that I prepared earlier. And then we can just add the orchid into the center and tape it on. Next, I trim all the stems evenly, taking out any excess weight from the corsage. Now I want to choose the perfect flower bracelet for this corsage to go on. These flower bracelets that come from Fitz Design come in a number of different styles, but they all are really beautiful. They come pre-equipped with this wonderful little rosette of ribbon, so if you're tying on the corsage, you can use this rosette of ribbon, or if you want to wire it on without this, you can just simply remove this area, like I have on this rock candy bracelet, and use a little bit of bullion as the attachment. So I just tie that bullion around the bracelet and add what I've created to it and secure it tightly with this wire. It may take a couple of pieces of bullion to get a very secure attachment. For the corsage of the magazine, we decided to use just a couple of pieces of ruscus, and I'm going to just glue that down in between the leaves that I made out of wire to give it a little extra green color to fill out the corsage. One other quick tip about using these great bracelets from Fitz Design is to take a vase, a glass vase, and just slip one of the bracelets over the top of the vase, and instantly you have a dazzling container that we can maybe drop a few more of the orchids that we were using for the corsage in. Be sure to choose a lot of these smaller bracelets to use as napkin holders to match your corsage and your vase. Join us next month for another great technique.